I would like to enlighten more about the males today because I'm seeing people are getting a lot of challenges about male goats. But actually, this is what you're supposed to understand. This is what you're supposed to know about the males. I'm going to talk about the males, the good males, the behaviors of the males, and how can you tell that this is really a good male? You very well know that what we really need from hybrids is all about the growth rate. And ladies, you will hate me for this, but it's the truth, even in human, that a man is more valued in breeding more than the woman. And still, it's the same thing like in the animals. So we value more males. We value more the males than the females. Why? Why do you think it's that? It's because a male, when you look at its activeness, let's say the service it gives, like if you have a male and you give it, let's say 50 females, it can produce up to maybe 70 kids, or let's say 50 kids. So that's what makes it to be more unique as compared to the females, because a female can hardly produce 50 kids in 6 months or 5 months, but a male can be given 50 females and it serves them, then it produces either 50 or 70 kids and above. In that sense, if a male is given let's say 50 females, and we have what they call the breeding period. The breeding period is always 3 months. So when you divide the 3 months, 3 months has over 90 days. But if you do 90 days divided by 50 animals, you find that if you have a male and you've given it 50 females in a period of 3 months, it will be serving 1.8 females per day. That's almost 2 goats per day, which is very small. And hope people do understand it, because even human beings can serve more than 3 women in a day. So that means an animal can serve more females. So that's what makes it to be more valued. It brings back your money earlier. The more females you give it to that animal, the more it brings back your money. What am I trying to explain to you is that when you're selecting a male is supposed to be good, because the moment the male is not good, it is going to affect you directly, and it's going to it's going to accumulate in your flock, or the genes, that male's gene. It's very easy to spread all over your farm or your flock, because one male splits more genes in your area. Since it's so in your flock, since it's given more females, that means it can split over its genes at a higher rate. You get it? So that's why when you're selecting a male, you have to be very, very attentive. I can see many of you people who are taking males, somebody, because the male is white, somebody is telling you this is a pure, and then you take it. You people, in nature, our local animals, some of them are white, some of them are black, some of them are black and white, some of them are red, all those colors. So they have ability of having any color of a hybrid. But look at the features. You see what we see in your what we see in the videos from the pures, because what we want from the pure males, one is their growth rate. The pure males can even attain up to 1 kilo, even plus, it depends, which is not the case like in our local goats. You get it? So, and if they grow what we call the maturity weight, a male can weigh up to 100 and something, or 120 kilos, of which that can't happen in our locals. So why do we have to cross the two? We want to buy the genes which does a lot of conversion of the feed. That means an animal will, can ably attain more weight. When it hits a kilo, let's say a cross, it can convert maybe up to 500 grams, something like that. That's what we want from the hybrid males, which is not the case in our local animals. The local males will take longer, at least to reach 70 kilos, and that could be its maximum weight it can attain. And then that means their growth rate is really very, very low. Two, they take longer time to reach the 70 kgs, and they cannot go beyond the 70 kgs live weight, of which the hybrid takes shorter time to reach there, and then two, they go beyond that weight and go up to 120 kgs. So, you people, when you're selecting animals, there is features that we consider, we look at, like, our animals always have dished faces, the locals, but with the hybrid pure, you can never find it with a dished face. The nose of the hybrids or the pures are always Roman nose. They are sharp, and their horns are always making a semicircle with the face of an animal. So the ears are always big right from the base, and they are flapping, and they are longer even beyond the lower mandibles. So when you're considering the males, even if it's a cross, you can't tell me this is a cross, let's say 75%, when the ears are standing. So don't just consider that this male is big, you get? And you consider that to be a good male because it's big. Just know how long has it been on earth. You get it? So it can be big, but taken too long to attain that weight. But for you, when you look at its vigor, you cannot know its age, and you consider it to be a good male, which is not the case. So you people, when you're looking at a good male that serves, I want you to look at the forward limbs. Behind the forward limbs, there is always supposed to be spermatozoas. Well, that means an animal which is active, because when you're selecting a male, you need an animal that is active. So if you're selecting an animal that is active, even if you've not seen it, you have not seen it serving, look at the forward limbs. Behind the forward limbs, you will find that animal dirty underneath on its stomach, on the lower side of the abdomen. It's always dirty. Underneath the thoracic cavity, it's always very dirty. So that means that animal is splitting spermatozoas, and that means that animal is active. The tests at least should be symmetrical. They shouldn't be too long, because that exposes it to many infections. So you people, that's what I can maybe look at in the males. What you have to know about the males: the male is supposed to be having a very good vigor. It's supposed to be very strong, and some other thing, it is supposed to be very active. So when you look at all those features, look at the tail. The tail is supposed to be sharp and erecting. Erected tail. That is also another sign. And then some other thing, also look at the quarters, the pelvic quarters. They are always supposed to be very big. Sorry, the behind quarters, they are supposed to be very big. Oh, it shouldn't be sharp. They shouldn't be sharp. When I talk about that, I'm talking about the behind part of the male. So if a male is active and is very strong and it is healthy, the behind quarters are supposed to be very, very big. So actually, I think that's what you have to consider. Also look at those colors. A male is supposed to have a specific color, but having a male that doesn't have a real specific color and you really want to know which kind of breed is that, don't take a male to your flock that you don't understand. You're not seeing the features, but because you're seeing it big, then you consider it. Don't consider that. Look at the colors that you want. Just know, I want these colors because it is this breed. And then the moment you understand that, it will really be very good. Please, thank you just very much. Let me just wish you the best. I would like to enlighten more about the males today, because I'm seeing people are getting a lot of challenges about male goats. But actually, this is what you're supposed to understand. This is what you're supposed to know about the males.